to the people of the city, Hunts Village, Hunts Road, Barbies Hill, New Orleans, and Baxter's Road. Special good evening to the fisher folks who are small vendors who are trying to vend their produce. Good evening to the shopkeepers and the patrons. Good evening to the BLP family. Welcome to the Barbados Labour Party's platform. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that we have just gone through the whole week of estimates, the government estimates for the year 2016-2017. And the government is trying to raise $2.6 billion this year, and they're going to spend over $3 billion. And you know that if you are going to raise $2.6 billion, but you're going to spend $3 billion, it means that you have to find the shortfall. And that's where we are tonight, that the government has to find more than $600 million in order to keep this country going. But tonight, I want to focus my attention mainly on agriculture. This week, the document that you see called the estimates did not contain much for the people of the city. It did not contain much for the people, the ordinary people of Hunts Village, Baxter's Road. For the people of St. George, it did not contain much for the ordinary people. There were some improvements in the estimates this year for roads in some areas. The government has borrowed some money to do some increases of roads, but very little for the fisher folks of Barbados. The grading of fish markets and the markets across Barbados, indeed agriculture in the whole, is still on the back burner of government. And I want to say to you tonight that as we go forward into this new year, into this year of 2016-2017, we have to ask ourselves if the government is truly interested in agriculture. Tonight, as I speak to you, we are importing over $600 million in foodstuff every year. Yet, over the past years, these past 7 years of the DLP rule in this country, we have seen very little prepared for agriculture and the improvement of agriculture and, of course, fisheries as well. I want to say to you that we wanted to have an examination of the agriculture sector this week. And that's why we are here, to let you know that if the government is not prepared to examine the things that are important, we will come to the people. We will come to you from time to time to let you know the truth, to let you know that the government needs to call sectors that are impact on the people. I was raised in an agricultural village in which production of yams and potatoes and sugar was important to this country. I want to say to you that many of us were supported by our families in the agriculture sector. Many of our parents worked hard on the sugar belt in order to provide secondary education for us. And it was through agriculture that built this country. I want to make this point. It was through agriculture that helped to build the Deepwater Harbor. It was through agriculture that helped to build the QEH. It was through agriculture that helped to build the modern economy as we have it today. It was through agriculture that this country became what it is today. Then we had a diversification from agriculture into service industries. But we cannot allow the foundation of this country to slip. I want to say, as you know, agriculture is hard work. But we all must be prepared to work hard in order to bring this country up. I want to say to you tonight that we have a number of young people who are still interested in agriculture. We have a number of young people who want to get into agriculture, pig farming, fish farming. They want to get into small raising of rabbits and pigs and so on. Cotton. I want to say to you tonight that the time has come for us to have a serious debate on where we are in the fishing industry. I want to say to you tonight that we have to be able to encourage people to be entrepreneurs, to use small vending to support their families. And I want to encourage you, the people, to buy local. I want to encourage the people of this country to look at what we produce first and foremost. You have to help the local industry. But I want to say to you, we were prepared to discuss agriculture. And when the time came in committee to discuss the head of agriculture, Eswick was not present. Eswick ran away. I prepared for him. I did not get a brief from him, but I did research, and we were prepared to debate. The government said they were going to debate agriculture, they were going to debate public works, and of course the AG's head. But of course, since Eswick could not be found, they went on to discuss the AG's head first. Eswick picked up himself and ran fast. But there are plenty of problems in agriculture which we want to discuss. And I want to start first and foremost with the market complex right here, because fishing is important to Baxter's Road. Every weekend, hundreds of people have to go around and sell their fish in order to make a living. All through from Oystons to Baxter's Road. In fact, it started right here in Baxter's Road. Baxter's Road was the very first fish vending site. Many of us came down here early in the 70s to buy our fish and chicken and so on from Enage and from the fish vendors right here across here. And we recognize that fishing is important. But tonight, when you got to buy fish at $8 a pound and then sell it at $13 a piece, this is very, very high. And you know why the fish is so high? Because the government has not spent enough time on the markets. The Bridgetown market, which was opened in 1989, we find ourselves 27 or 30 years after the fish market down there is in dilapidated state. The fish market is in dilapidated state. The many fish vendors and the fish, those persons who ply the trade, the fishermen, find it difficult to find a space for their fish, for their boats. They found it very difficult because it is a problem at the market and the government is doing very little to solve their problem. Since 2008, the government said that they were going to do something with the Bridgetown fish market. Today we have it as a very dirty fishing site. The government is spending very little money on the fish market in Bridgetown. They're spending a little to upgrade Oystons. Within the estimates, they're going to spend about $2 million to upgrade the Oyston fish market. But very little is going to be spent at the Bridgetown fish market. And what does that have to do with the people here at Baxter's Road? Because most of the people here, the fish vendors, must buy their fish right out of the fish market here at Bridgetown. And when they go there, there are lots of problems. They need proper ice. They need ice to make sure to keep the fish well and in healthy condition. There needs to be a cool environment. We have a situation where the fish market is dirty, dilapidated, and we need to get it upgraded. And we have been calling for the upgrade of the Bridgetown fish market for a long time. And we want to encourage the people of this part. We want to encourage the people of Baxter's Road, the people of the city, those who are involved in fishing, to look at what is happening and ask government to spend some money in that fish market. What about the Fairchild Street market too? Fairchild Street Market is really in need of refurbishing. In fact, we need a new fish market. And it was the Barbados Labour Party that told you in 2008 that we were looking at doing a full market at the Fairchild Street. But what has the government done? The government has done very little. And I want to say to you that we recognize that fishing is important. And we heard the government said since 2008 that they were going to get a fishing agreement with Trinidad. Where is the fishing agreement? We have heard Kelman, who was the ambassador to CARICOM in 2008. He was the man to put the agreement in place. Nothing has happened. And because of the declining in the fishing industry, because of the supply is so least, because the supply has dwindled, the less fish you collect, the higher the price. And the reason why fishermen are forced to sell their fish that high is because of the quantity that they collect. Most of the fishing boats are in need of reshaping. They can't get a loan. But you know when the Barbados Labour Party was in power, what was happening? The fish contribution to the Ministry of Agriculture and the GDP of Barbados was about 8% in total. 8% of the total GDP or output of the agriculture sector was in fishing. In those days, the fish output was providing over $15 million in revenue for that sector, and agriculture contributed heavily to it. We were able to develop not only Bridgetown, Oyster, but Skeets Bay and Consett Bay. We were able to develop Paynes Bay and Western. And we were putting in place a program to ensure that we were able to export fishing and fish across the world. We were putting in place an IIDB program in order to provide health and standards for the export market. All this was scrapped by the present administration. They do not have any concern about the fishing industry. In fact, agriculture is on the back burner tonight. You look what they have done, not only in fishing, but look at other industries. Look at the sugar industry. When we left office in 2008, we were producing over 30,000 tons of sugar annually. And we were providing also a branded sugar for the people of Barbados. We had the Barbados brand. What has happened to that? Tonight, as I speak to you, we are only producing 7,000 tons of sugar in this year. 7,000 tons of sugar the government is going to produce. And you know what? They are going to build a new sugar factory costing over $500,000 Barbadian dollars to produce a sugar factory that is only going to produce 7,000 tons. I want to say to the people of the city, I know that most of you are not involved to some extent in the sugar industry, but sugar has helped us and it will continue to help us. It will provide employment for our people. It will provide employment because out of sugar, you have a lot of things that are generated. You have the molasses, you have the rum, you have a lot of things that are produced because of sugar, and we must keep it going. We must be able to put, ladies and gentlemen, about 30,000 acres of land back into sugar production. We must put land back into sugar production. If you go to St. Thomas tonight, if you go to St. John, if you go to certain parts of St. George, St. Andrew, you have land idle. Land that used to produce sugar, potatoes, yams, and all the crops. Tonight, those lands are idle. We have to put land back into production. We have to get young people back into production. And I'll tell you this now, that there's still a number of opportunities for young people to be involved in agriculture. With government assistance, we were able to provide assistance for young farmers through the Rural Development Commission. In fact, there was a time when we were able to give over $150,000 a year to small enterprises who want to set up little agriculture, who want to raise chickens, who want to raise pigs and so on. We were able to provide this. Tonight, many people would like to get into farming, but they do not have the resources? How many of you would like to get into own your own little business? And we want to encourage you. We want to encourage people to grow their own thyme, grow their own lettuce, grow their own cabbages, at least grow a few. This will help cut back on the import bill. We have to be able to put this country back to work. I want to remind you, as I've said in the opening, that it was agriculture that have started this country, and they want to see families returning to agriculture. That's why the debate must continue. We must have the debate to encourage people back into agriculture. We want to be able to sustain not only agriculture, the sugar industry, but we have to sustain the other sectors, the non-sugar agriculture, cotton. We have to sustain fishing. We have to sustain the other parts of agriculture. Those are the ones that help us and bring in lots of foreign exchange to this country. But we also want to discuss with the government, what is the government doing in terms of pre-deal larceny. Tonight, as I speak to you, pre-deal larceny is a big problem, not only in Barbados, but throughout the Caribbean. Many persons are fearful because if they get into agriculture, then they stand the risk of losing their crops. And we know it is a problem. We want to return Barbados to a stage where if you want to collect something, you want to ask, you want some fruits, you ask your neighbor for it. We want to encourage people to ensure that they protect their neighbor's property. Too many of our farmers are losing whole stock of fruits, vegetables. Whole lots of our farmers are losing chickens and turkeys. We have to do more than this. Throughout the Caribbean, ladies and gentlemen, it is a problem, not only in Barbados. Too many farmers, and even in the fishing industry, we have many fish vendors losing all their fish or part of the fish. You go back to your fish site, and then you cannot find the fish that you have left. We want to encourage persons to be honest. And we want to discuss with government what it is, what are you going to put in place to ensure that people's investment is satisfied. We want to discuss with government. The government said that they were going to bring a legislation in place since 2010. The Prime Minister is on record of saying that he wants to stop or help the industry by putting in place a mechanism to stop this large theft from the industry. It is a problem. We have to discuss it. And I want to tell you that within the Barbados Labour Party, we believe legislation has to come in order to protect those persons who are vulnerable. We have to encourage the police. We have to encourage persons in security to protect that industry. And we are told that there are many times the police is aware of who are those persons who are involved. And of course, you know, I'll tell you this, that many persons are not only stealing on them for themselves, but they're making a full living of pre-deal larceny. Many people are stealing to make a living, and it is bad, it is wrong. And those persons who buy from those persons who knowing that they do not produce, you are also guilty. And we want to be encouraged persons to ensure that those persons who are investing large sums of money, that at least they have returns of their investment. It is important for us, ladies and gentlemen, to bring back agriculture to a stage where we had it before. We had agriculture to a point where it was producing money for our families. It was producing large sums of money in foreign exchange for our country. It was helping to build this economy. We cannot rely merely and only on tourism. We have to be able to get the export sector moving, and agriculture is that sector. Agriculture is that sector. How many of you went out to AgriFest? You saw what is possible. You saw the byproducts of agriculture being shown off in AgriFest. I am saying to you, it was the Barbados Labour Party who resuscitated agriculture. who resuscitate the AgroFest. We will continue in the next couple of weeks, months, to come to you to discuss these small headings, what it is we will want to do, and point out to you that there's possibilities once we get the people's support. I want to say to you that our Conward leader, Mayor Mortley, is trying her best to ensure that we bring back sustained development to this country. I want to say to you that our Conward leader is trying her best to ensure that Barbados is managed successfully. We have to give her a chance. We got to give her a chance. It is time that Barbados understand that we mean business. And we will continue to expose government. We will continue to expose this government throughout Barbados. And as I leave you tonight, I want to encourage you to stay focused on the Barbados Labour Party. Stay focused. We know that they will come to tell you that we are out here only to give trouble. They will tell you this. They will tell you that we do not know what we are doing. But you know that we had good government. Up to 2008, the Barbados Labour Party have performed exceptionally. Unemployment was 7% down. Today it is 11.8%. And it's because people are not involved in agriculture. Over 4,000 persons are out of work. Over 4,000 are out of work and can be employed within the agriculture sector. I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good party. You have a good party, good leader. Good night. I want to tell you thanks for listening to me. Good night, and God bless you.